Hi guys, I'm back with another lecture of PO, and in this lecture I'm going to talk about the different organizational structure that we have and the various forms of organizational structure and other things. So before we start, just a brief introduction about myself. So I'm Sandhya Rao, working as an assistant professor at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. And so far, we have covered the topics like what organizing is all about, and we also talked about the definition of organization. So let's get started with the organizational structure and design, and we'll also talk a little bit about coordination. Let's get started. So, what exactly is this coordination? See, time and again we heard this term that coordination is very important in any organization. Coordination ensures smooth flow of communication. Also, all the things start operating in a very effective manner if coordination is there. Coordination unifies the group effort. So, what exactly is this coordination? See, coordination is a deliberate action, a deliberate step which is being taken up by the management, by the managers. Although it may come voluntary also from within the person, but that's totally optional. I mean, in an organization, we always assume that it's a deliberate effort which is taken up by the management. Now, coordination is the unification of group efforts. Okay, so we try to integrate the efforts of different groups so as to work cohesively towards the achievement of the organizational goals. That is a common goal. So let's understand this with the help of an example. If you could see this picture over here, then in this box there are different people, A, B, C, D. Now A, B, C, D represents the different departments that we have, vis-a-vis the finance department, sales department, marketing, R&D department. Now, coordination means when all these different departments work together towards the achievement of a common goal. Let's say the organizational goal is to achieve um, increase in sale by, let's say, 30%. Now, when all these departments are going to work together cohesively, they together will say that we have achieved it, we did it, we have achieved the common goal. So coordination means when the different people with different set of qualities and attributes work together, that is coordination. Okay, so what are the characteristics of coordination? We integrate the group efforts. So whenever there is a group working, different individuals work independently, and coordination tries to integrate their efforts. Second is that it ensures unity of action, which means all members, departments work towards a common goal. Let's say in a school or in a college, there are different teachers taking up different subjects. Okay, but in a nutshell, we can say that all the teachers are working in coordination so that they can achieve the common goal to take the reputation of the college or this or of the college or the school to the next level. Okay, they want to improve the result of the school or college, and that is why they all are working in coordination. Let's say if a student is underperforming, okay, the student is not doing well in studies, he's an average student. So what will the teachers do? All the teachers, all the subject teachers who are taking up different subjects, they will work in coordination so that they can improve the performance of that particular student. So every teacher will give homework to that particular student. So let's say the teachers have decided that okay, on Monday, maths and English teacher will give their homework to that student, and on Tuesday Hindi teacher and science teacher will give homework to that student, and they will take their extra classes. So this is coordination when there is a proper communication between the different departments or the different people who are working, and they work towards a common goal. Now here, the goal of the science teacher is also same, the goal of the maths teacher is also same, that they want to improve the performance of that student. So we are trying to integrate the group effort. Why group effort? Because more than one person is involved here. So we are trying to integrate the group efforts. and there is a unity of action, which means all the people are working towards one common goal. Next is it's a continuous process. It's not something which can stop at a particular point of time. For let's say, if you are able to improve the performance of that student, then your work will be done. No. After that also your work will continue. You will have to continue the process of coordination. Because coordination एक ऐसी चीज है जो अगर आप किसी भी point of time पे अगर आपने वो miss कर दिया, if you miss out on coordination, if there is an absence of coordination, then the working will not be effective, the operations will not run smoothly. तो आपको फिर प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, रुकावटें आएंगी बीच में. So it's a continuous process, it's a never ending process, and it improves the efficiency of the group. Okay. Next is it's all pervasive. Again, coordination is required at every level of management and in every organization. We all see coordination at our home also. हम coordination देखते हैं, हमारे घर में भी coordination हो रही होती है. You know, अगर let's say if our mother falls sick, then what will happen? Either the grandmother will cook food for us, or let's say the daughter will cook food for us. मतलब कोई भी और जो भी घर में फीमेल है, they will cook food, or let's say if even if there is a male in the house, then they can also cook food in case the mother of the house falls sick. तो ये कोऑर्डिनेशन है कि अगर एक काम नहीं कर रहा है तो दूसरा कर लेगा, उनके बीच में एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है. तो कोऑर्डिनेशन इज बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंडिंग. अब अंडरस्टैंडिंग का ऑब्वियसली वी ऑल नो दैट यू नो अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो हर जगह पर है अंडरस्टैंडिंग, हर जगह पे कोऑर्डिनेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, घर पर बाहर और हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, हर ऑफिस में, बी इट स्कूल, बी इट हॉस्पिटल, इट्स रिक्वायर एवरीवेयर. नेक्स्ट इज इट्स अ डेलिबरेट एक्शन ऑफ द मैनेजर. what happens is that sometimes coordination अपने आप से वॉलंटरी नहीं अगर आ पाता है, तो मैनेजर्स जो है वो डेलिबरेटली कोऑर्डिनेशन को इंश्योर करते हैं. वो प्रॉपर ऐसे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन बना देते हैं कि कोऑर्डिनेशन मेंटेन रहेगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर. सो वी से दैट इट्स अ डेलिबरेट एक्शन ऑफ द मैनेजर. Next is it's the responsibility of the manager to check that coordination prevails in the organization. Again, it's the same thing. कि ये मैनेजर का ही रोल है that he will ensure that coordination prevails at all the levels of organization and हर जगह पे coordination apply किया जा रहा है. Okay. Now, if I talk about the advantages, then advantages इसके काफी सारे हैं. First is it gives functional differentiation. Functional differentiation means that because of coordination, you are able to divide the organization into different departments. ठीक है. For example, finance department, HR department, marketing department, sales department. ये departments आपने क्यों बनाए हैं? Because so that you can ensure coordination. Coordination तभी होगी जब हर चीज जो है वो एक सही तरीके से classified होगी. अगर classification नहीं है proper, then coordination cannot be there. So that is why coordination का advantage यही है कि आप coordination करने के लिए आप अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स फॉर्म करते हो, एंड डिपार्टमेंट्स फॉर्म करने की वजह से आपको फंक्शनल डिफरेंशिएशन मिलती है, व्हिच मींस कि डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द डिफरेंट फंक्शंस दैट आर बीइंग रेंडर्ड बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यू आर एबल टू परफॉर्म मोर एफिशिएंटली. तो ये इसका एडवांटेज है. ठीक है. जब आपने फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट फॉर्म कर दिया एंड एचआर डिपार्टमेंट फॉर्म कर दिया, देन दीज टू डिपार्टमेंट विल बी वर्किंग इंडिपेंडेंटली, बट also they will be working in coordination with each other. Let's say the HR department wants to know कि finance department के पास अभी कितना fund available है, so that they can announce the raise in the salary, जो भी नए perks जो भी उनको employees को देने हैं, वो finance department के साथ बात करके ही वो announce करेंगे. तो दोनों के बीच में coordination होगा इस चीज को लेके. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि अगर finance department के पास available funds ही नहीं है, उनसे पूछे बिना ही HR department ने announce कर दिया है that okay, we'll give 20% bonus in this month. तो अगर ऐसा वो करते हैं, it means there is no coordination. So इस तरह से जब आप फंक्शन अलग अलग फंक्शनल फंक्शन के बेसिस पे अपने डिपार्टमेंट्स फॉर्म करती हैं, तो उससे अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ती है, जॉब क्लैरिटी आती है, आपको पता होता है कि आपको क्या काम करना है एंड आपको किस इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए किस डिपार्टमेंट से बात करनी है, एंड उस चीज से फिर कोऑर्डिनेशन इंश्योर करी जा सकती है. ओके. The next is specialization. We all know that when we grow in number, when we grow in size, then the complexities increases and the technology increases क्योंकि हमें ज़्यादा technology की ज़रूरत पड़ती है उस time पे. तो specialization भी आने लगती है because we get to know that okay we are more efficient in this particular field. तो specialization भी develop होती है coordination से. ठीक है. Because अगर coordination नहीं है, then we will never be able to understand that where our efficiency lies. But if there is coordination, then we will be able to understand that okay, my core efficiency lies in this particular field. ठीक है? It improves the work performance. Definitely coordination से आपकी work performance बढ़ती है क्योंकि time consume कम होता है, wastages कम होती हैं ज़्यादा. अगर आपको यही नहीं पता है कि आपको अगर कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करनी है तो वो आपको किस डिपार्टमेंट से कलेक्ट करनी है, तो आप क्या करोगे? हर डिपार्टमेंट के पास जाओगे, टाइम वेस्ट होगा, रिसोर्स वेस्ट होंगे. तो जब आपके पास कोऑर्डिनेशन होती है, आपको क्लियरली डिफाइन होता है कि आपको किस चीज के लिए कौन से डिपार्टमेंट से बात करनी है, तो एक परफॉर्मेंस जो है वो डेफिनेटली इंप्रूव होती है क्योंकि वेस्टेज कम होती है. देयर इज नो वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम, देन देयर इज नो वेस्टेज ऑफ एफर्ट आल्सो. ओके. And there are better interpersonal relations also in the organization because of coordination. But it has been felt that there are certain problems also that come up when we are talking about coordination. Now, what are these problems? First is differences in formality of structure. Definitely, organization में जब coordination होता है, then there are different formalities that needs to be done. For example, जब आप इतनी ज़्यादा स्पेशलाइजेशन, इतनी ज़्यादा डिफ्रेंसिएशन कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर, इतने अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स फॉर्म करती हैं, तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि रेड टेपिज्म की वजह से जो आपने बेनिफिट सोचे थे जो कोऑर्डिनेशन के आ पाएंगे वो नहीं आ पाते हैं. रेड टेपिज्म की प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट हो जाती है, फॉर्मेलिटीज बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं. देन देर आर सर्टन प्रॉब्लम्स रिलेटिंग टू इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स. लोगों आपस में बात करने में कई बार प्रॉब्लम आती है, कोऑर्डिनेशन में प्रॉब्लम आती है. मे बी जो दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में आपका पर्सन बैठा हुआ है वो मे बी आपकी उसके साथ कुछ पर्सनल एनमिटी है. then in that case you won't be able to coordinate well with that person. Then time orientation भी होती है. Sometimes it takes a lot of time because of coordination क्योंकि आपको हर चीज जो है वो systematic तरीके से करनी पड़ती है. So it becomes very time consuming at times. Then sometimes what happens is that you have a difference of opinion, you have different goals. So when you have different goals, then definitely you cannot coordinate well with each other. These are certain problems that come up when we have to talk about coordination. Now, the next thing is organizational structure and design. See, organizational structure and design, these are two very interrelated kind of things. Organization design जो है वो थोड़ा broader concept है and organization structure जो है वो design का ही एक part होता है. ठीक है. So organization structure is only limited or restricted to the formal line of authority and power as well as the role that employees assume. तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपकी कैसे अथॉरिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुई है, किस तरीके से पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुई है, किस तरीके से आप विद इन डिपार्टमेंट जो है वो बातचीत होगी, दैट इज organizational structure. But organizational design includes a lot of other things as well. It also involves how you are going to recruit the people. It also involves how you are going to process the information. So it's a formal process of integrating people, information, and technology together in a right mix to achieve objectives. Then next thing is organizational structure and design का classification क्या है. So these are certain questions that come to your mind which will make it more clear as to what is the difference between these two things. So when we talk about organizational structure, we can say what exactly people do, as in it tells us about the goals and responsibilities of people, then also their specific job description, and it also tells us about how each job role fits within the overall system. Okay. So the next is who makes the decision, as in it tells us about the authority who will be making the decisions. Then what's the reporting system, as in how the subordinates are going to report their report to their superior. वो कौन सा ग्रुप ऑफ सेक्शन किस पर्सन को रिपोर्ट करेगा ये भी हमें पता चलता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर से. टॉल टॉल स्ट्रक्चर होगा या फ्लैट स्ट्रक्चर होगा. देन फंक्शनल डिफरेंशिएशन होगी या किस तरीके से डिफरेंशिएशन होगी, ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर है इसके बारे में हम थोड़ा डिटेल में बाद में भी कवर करेंगे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में, जब हम डिपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन की बात करेंगे। देन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल डिजाइन में हमें ये पता चलता है कि अगर डिसीजन मेकिंग में कोई भी बॉटलनेक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है, तो उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए हमें अगर चेक करना पड़े तो फिर हमें ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल डिजाइन की जरूरत पड़ती है। Then also organizational design will help us to set accountability, and it reduces the duplication of efforts because everything will be well defined. चाहे वो लोगों की हायरिंग से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो लोगों के पेरोल से रिलेटेड हो, सारी चीजें जो भी कुछ हैं वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के डिजाइन से आपको पता चल जाएगा. एंड ऑल्सो इट क्रिएट्स अ ट्रस्ट बिटवीन द मैनेजर्स एंड वर्कर्स. So let's talk about them in detail now. So there are different types of organizational structure. Um, I'll talk about centralization and decentralization first. So centralization is where all the decisions are taken by the central department, that is one department. So if you could see the picture over here, so there's a circle in the middle, which means the central authority, and there are different departments who are working. Now these departments A, B, C, D will take the decision and they will report to the one person, the one center, which is in the middle. So all the directions are being sent by the central authority only, and A, B, C, D have to follow those instructions or directions. Then in decentralization, what happens is that A, B, C, D work independently and they take the decisions, and they will provide suggestion to the middle authority or the central authority. And in decentralization, the different departments work independently and take the decisions on their own. Then we have functional organization structure as well. Herein, we divide the organization into different departments based on the functions of the organization. So any organization will have functions like finance, marketing, R&D, production, sales. So this is how we can divide the organization into different departments. So this is functional differentiation. There are other forms also, but we will talk about them in great detail in departmentalization. Okay, because that's the same topic, so I don't want to repeat it all over again. So these are the three major categories, and the other forms of departments and other organizational structure will be discussed in the departmentalization topic. Now, the next thing is types of organizational design. Now, as I've told you that organizational design is a broader concept and it involves a lot more other things as well. So, strategy, structure, process, rewards, and people. These are the various aspects of organizational design. So, strategy means when you try to frame different goals, objectives, mission, vision, and values for the organization, that is your strategy. Now, this determines the other activities that are going to be followed in the organization. So we first of all prepare a layout for the organization, as in what's going to be the objective, mission, vision, and values. This have been explained in greater detail in the second unit itself. So you can refer to that lecture in which I have covered these topics. Then we prepare the structure, which means how the power will be distributed, which is nothing but the organizational structure only. Then we have process, which means how you're going to allocate the budget across the various functions, which means here we are trying to set performance matrices for each process. Whatever process are going to be there in the organization, how you're going to evaluate them, what's going to be the performance metrics for each process, that will be decided over here. Then rewards, which means how you're going to decide the payroll, how you're going to decide the promotion, bonus, stock option, and commission or performance-based pay. So all these things will be decided in the rewards. So here we are trying to say that everything comes under the organizational design, starting from the very policies that we make, जो आपका basic एक strategy prepare की जाती है, वहां से लेकर लोगों के क्या उनके perks होंगे, क्या उनका bonus होगा, क्या कैसे उनको reward करना है, that will all be decided in the organizational design. ठीक है. Then we'll also talk about people जो हमारे personnel hire करे जाएंगे, how we are going to hire them, how we are going to train them, what are the strategies that are going to be adopted for the development of the people. All these things will be covered under the organizational design. So this is it for this lecture. And the two questions that I want to give you from this lecture are, you have to define what organizational structure and organizational design is. And second question is, you have to tell me about the different benefits that we derive from coordination. Okay. So this is it for today's lecture. Thank you.